Welcome again to another One Take. I'm Alex Miceli. I'm about 30 minutes away from Pebble Beach. It's Monday morning, and the anticipation is palpable. But before we get to that, before we get to the U.S. Open, before we get to what everybody's been talking about ever since the PGA Championship, let's take a quick look back. First, Lexi Thompson. Lexi Thompson, had a chance last week or 2 weeks ago, I should say, at the Women's U.S. Open, didn't get it done. Lexi Thompson is like the only American that seems to be playing well. No offense to the Corda sisters. Lexi Thompson won back going into Sunday's round against Lee Six, the winner of the U.S. Women's Open. Lee Six faltered. Lexi Thompson didn't. Eagles the last. Wins the ShopRite. Congratulations, Lexi. What does that mean for the rest of the year? Who knows? Everybody out there is scrambling, trying to figure out who the best player is. Everybody's out there trying to figure out who the star is. There are no stars right now. However, on the PGA Tour, we're full of stars. Unbelievable stars. Rory McIlroy. I can't really understand this line item. 67, 66, 64, 61. Yes, I said 61. Which could have easily been a 59 or maybe even a 58. But why do that when you don't need to? 22 under at the Royal Bank Canadian Open. RBC Canadian Open. Why do you need to do anything you don't need to do? Rory McIlroy cruised on Sunday, winning his 16th time on the PGA Tour. He broke the tournament record by 5 shots. Does that sound familiar? Breaking tournament records big time, shooting great numbers. Didn't that happen before here at, Pebble Beach? Tiger Woods, remember all that? That's what everybody keeps talking about. Tiger Woods, Pebble Beach, when he completely demolished the field. Rory McIlroy did the same thing on Sunday in Canada. Can he do the same thing a week later at Pebble Beach? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just wait a second. One last thing before we get to Pebble Beach. The Dogwood Invitational. What kind of name is that, the Dogwood Invitational? But it's a name. It's a golf course. It's a tree. It's a plant. Whatever. Alex Ross. Let me give you this line item. I gave you Rory's line item. Let me give you this line item. 75, 73. Nothing to shake your head about. 57. That's right. 57. 15 under par. 72 at the Druid Hills Golf Course. 57. What? Yes, 57. And then, of course, to finish it off, cherry on the top, 70. 13 shots worse. I just got these kids, a sophomore at Davidson. These kids, yeah, Rory McIlroy's still a kid. I mean, look at me. I'm not a kid, but that guy's a kid. 57. How is that possible? I have no idea. I know when I shot 57, it's usually right after I make the turn on the back nine. Holy cow. Kid finished T11, showing once again that just because you have a really good round doesn't mean you're going to win the golf tournament, does it? No. Rory McIlroy, 61, did mean he was going to win the golf tournament. Brooks Koepka, PGA Championship, shot a great first round, did win the golf tournament. And I talk about Brooks Koepka, T50 in Canada. Now, let's transition. PGA Tour is over. U.S. Open starts this week. What are we doing? Seriously, what do we got? Well, first of all, we got Rory McIlroy. We can't dismiss Rory anymore. It's like 10-1 in Vegas now. Can't dismiss what he's doing. So you shoot 61, final day, you come to Pebble Beach, completely different golf course, completely different setup. Not a place that Rory has necessarily had huge success. But you got all this positive energy coming out of you. Right? Don't you? Don't you have to? You have to. But Rory McIlroy has shown lately his inability to follow things up. First I said he's having a problem, putting 72 holes together. That clearly was not the problem in Canada. Harry Diamond on his bag, some people talk about, well, you should have a professional caddy. Rory McIlroy's case, clearly shown again, he does not, winning twice so far on the PGA Tour this year, once at the Players and certainly once in Canada. So Rory McIlroy is definitely a guy you have to look at now. There's no question. We could talk about, oh, this or that, and hasn't done this, hasn't done that, didn't show up at the PGA, da-da-da. Doesn't matter. 61 going into the final round, coming out of the final round of Canada. You have to now look at Rory McIlroy as a legitimate favorite going into the U.S. Open. Brooks Koepka, as I said earlier, T50. What do you do with that? Nothing. You do absolutely nothing. You toss it out. Brooks Koepka didn't even think about it. He wanted to play 4 rounds. He did play 4 rounds, getting his game ready to go into a U.S. Open. Now, what do you do with Brooks Koepka here? Well, until you're beat, you're the winner, right? I mean, until you're beat, you're the favorite, I should say. 2 U.S. Opens in a row, 2 PGA Championships in a row. There's no one higher, to me, on the list than Brooks Koepka. He's definitely the favorite at 8-1. His running buddy Dustin Johnson, who finished T20 in Canada. Yeah, I look at Dustin. Everybody's looking at Dustin because he's had some success at Pebble Beach in the AT&T. Had a chance to win this thing, clearly. Last time we were here in 2010, did not. Kind of like, what do you call it? I mean, some people call it brain fart. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. It was something horrific. Didn't win the golf tournament, but Dustin Johnson's got all the tools at 8-1 as well, so he's a co-favorite with Koepka out of Las Vegas. So those are the guys you look at, right? Justin Rose falls from 3 to 4 in the world rankings. McIlroy supplants him. Justin Rose, maybe. He's got Lordy on the bag now, who was on Henrik Stensson's bag when he won the Open Championship. Maybe that's going to be a difference. I don't know. I don't think Rose has really put everything together yet. I think this isn't necessarily the place for him, but we'll see what happens. Tiger Woods, well, what do you say? Tiger Woods. I have not seen so many people hang their hats on a tournament that happened 19 years ago as I have seen people talk about Tiger Woods winning at the U.S. Open. I have never seen it in my life. That was 19 years ago. It was, I don't even know how many surgeries. I don't even know how many car crashes. I don't even know how many DUI. I don't know what any of that. I don't understand how you could still sit there and say Tiger Woods to you is a legitimate favorite. But people do. We'll see what happens. Memorial was kind of a wash, no big deal in one way or the other. Really showed that he couldn't put 72 holes together. He could put 65, 66 maybe. This is a U.S. Open. It ain't going to be the same. You aren't missing greens or missing fairways like you did at the Masters. And then with these very tiny greens, unlike what they had at Bethpage, you're not going to miss these greens and think you're going to get up and down all the time. Tiger, good luck to you. Graham McDowell. Graham McDowell finished T8 in Canada, and because of that, is now going to be at the Open Championship at Portrush, his home course. Congratulations. By the way, Graham McDowell, who's played pretty well this year, won this the last time it was here. Graham McDowell is here this week. Graham McDowell, to me, may not be a favorite, but Graham McDowell, to me, is a guy you'd have to look at. One other guy I think you have to take a look at is Henrik Stenson, who, when focused, could be one of the best players out here. When focused. He was focused last week at Canada, played well. He seems to be focused more and more. Henrik Stenson, a guy you'd have to look at Pebble Beach. Now, that all being said, when I go out to Pebble Beach this week, I'm going to take a look around. And after I'm done taking a look around, I'm going to report back to you. So expect on Thursday morning in Morning Read my final analysis of the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach before the first ball gets struck. I'm Alex Miceli, and this was my One Take. It's Alex Miceli from the Buffalo Studios, and this has been One Take.